dancers competed this past weekend and wore an orange ribbon for one of the girls who passed away, who was a dancer in the community. So there's many things that they can do to honor those lost and remember them so that they don't have to feel that living their life is forgetting these people. Um, let them one of the things that many of the girls that didn't directly lose someone but were close with someone who lost someone wanted to know, how do I support my friend? So tell the kids, if they bring that up to you, some of the things that we're doing for the kids who are coming to us, to be good listeners, to give their friend a hug, to let their friend know that they're loved and that they're cared about and that they're there for them. These are things that seem small, but they're probably the most powerful things that the kids who want to support a friend who's lost somebody can do for them. Saying, I'm here for you, or I love you, or if you need anything, give me a call. Um, and, within all of this, many of the kids were worried about prevention and ways to stay safe. Um, I told the kids when I spoke with them last week that, 10 years from now, the majority of the kids that I was talking to will be adults. And we talked about how being a leader doesn't start once you're an adult, it starts now. And so we talked about the things that they can do now to be leaders and to make the world that they live in a place where they can feel safe and know that they are safe. And, things like if they see something that worries them or concerns them, whether it's a person or part of the school that they feel is not safe, to speak up and to talk to somebody, a trusted person, a parent, a teacher, a coach, administrator, and don't just talk to one person, talk to many, and keep talking until change happens. It's a lot tied in with what we're doing with Safe Sport, not accepting the status quo when something feels wrong. If it feels wrong, it worries you, it concerns you, then you need to speak up and talk to somebody to make it better. The kids like that. That helped them a lot because they feel very afraid and they don't feel that they have control over the situation, and this will give them a sense of that. We also talked about, that this tragedy we suffered didn't happen because a building burned down or there was a hurricane or some kind of natural disaster. It happened because a person chose to take an action. But that person didn't just wake up one day and decide that. It was a series of things that happened in this person's life. And, we talked about being aware of those around us, being aware when somebody is not included in a group, and not being afraid to be that person to invite someone who's sitting by themselves into your group. To be that leader, that person that says, hey, that person's sitting over there alone. Come on over here and talk with us. Or smiling at somebody, or saying something nice. Those are the types of actions that our kids can do now to help those children who are suffering and struggling alone, so that maybe they will grow up into different people as they become older. And a big thing that happens now is many of the kids have fake Instagrams. They call them Finsta. And on those Instagrams are many disturbing things, from images like we saw of the boy who was behind this violence with guns and expressing anger toward others and violence. And there's many things that kids post about hating themselves, hurting themselves, not liking their lives, things about their parents, about school. When our children see that, they have been quiet. They don't speak up because they feel it's ratting out their friends. They need to know that it is their responsibility to go to adults and to let us know when they see something on these social media sites that we can do and that they can do to help these people. Because if we just sit and do nothing, we cannot know and we cannot intervene. So this was something that I encouraged all the girls to be aware of, because it's almost like their secret club. And I speak mostly of the teenagers, probably 12 and up, sometimes 10. It depends how If they have older siblings and how much they have freedom within their phone use and applications on their phones. But there's a lot that goes on in that area that we as adults aren't aware of. So I encourage them to let us know about that so that we can help these kids. Um, and then lastly, for the children, not being bystanders, most of the kids that we work with in the gym wouldn't fall into the categories of bullies. Most of them wouldn't fall into the categories of victims. Most of them would fall into the categories of bystanders. And so when they're in school or in a gym and they see a child who's being left out or somebody is treating them unkindly, I have encouraged them to speak up. Many of our girls are very, very good kids. They're quiet, they're reserved, they're hard workers. They're not the type to rock the boat and um, cause attention to themselves. So they may not be comfortable speaking up and telling somebody, hey, that's not cool to treat that person that way. So if they're uncomfortable to do that, that is fine. But I did encourage them to let an adult know that it was happening so that the adult could intervene and effectively and immediately attend to the situation so that these children who are being bullied, it can be dealt with appropriately. So these are things that you can do when you talk to the kids to let them know that there are things, that actions that they can take to make things different for the future. That it's not just something that's going to happen to them, that they do have power and control over the situation. And lastly, with parents and with kids, letting them take steps to move beyond where we're at now, making sure that they're promoting wellness, they're taking care of themselves, they're eating right, they're sleeping, they're, being active with their friends, they're taking care of their academics. These things are very difficult to do right now in the immediate aftermath, but as we move past that, it's going to be more and more important for those types of actions to continue to happen so that we don't get stuck in a place of grieving. Sticking to the normal routine. I know many of the children are still going to vigils and support groups and services for the lives lost. Once those things have passed, it's important for the kids to get back into their regular routine. Many of the kids do not want to go to school. It's important for them to realize that they cannot stop their lives because of something that happened. Holding them accountable and responsible. We can't just keep, I'm talking further on down the road, overlooking things that they do, letting them know, hey, that split jump wasn't quite where it needed to be. I need you to do 10 more. We're not going to do that now in the immediate aftermath. But as we move past that, it's important for that child to have that structure and routine because that's what grounds us. And as far as parents go, I encourage them to limit the exposure the children have to what's on the media. Because of the phones, this is very difficult. So much has been posted within Instagram and Snapchat and the things that the kids see. So while that may not be an option, if the children have seen things, it is so important for the parents to be talking about it. What do you think of this? How does this make you feel? What do you think should be done? Those important conversations are the things that parents can do to continue to support their kids. So I hope these general guidelines give you a sense of confidence in knowing different things that you can do as a coach and a representative of Twisters and USA competitions to support the people you interact with in processing what has happened. And I am always available to talk with you personally if you have a specific question about a child or a family or an issue that we might want to come up with something, a specific plan for you to handle. I thought there was something else that I wanted to add to that. Within the communities and schools and churches and synagogues, there have been so many forms of ways of remembering the victims as well as counseling to support not only our teens but our parents within the community. And when you find someone who seems to be really really grieving or really stuck with anxiety or any kind of emotion on the situation, I encourage you to encourage them to talk to some of these counselors that are out there and available to them. It is all no cost and open to the public. There's no criteria they have to meet to receive these services. So please encourage them to get that, and let me know if there's anything that I personally can do to support you um, in helping our community move past this. Thank you all so very much for everything that you do. I genuinely appreciate you, and I'm very honored to be part of our team.